Holy shit. It's that time once again. Me turn the music on. I know you kids need the extra stimulation because you can't just hear a fucking human being speak for more than 5 seconds. I know you. I see you. I know what you're about. I've seen your funny little videos where it's showing like a classroom and the teacher has to have some like, what is it? Like Coco Melon shit playing in the background so kids can concentrate. Y'all are terrible. Terrible and should be ashamed of yourself. All of you. Wait, oh man. It's been a time. Oh, how's everybody doing? No, I'm fine. Okay. Ooh, it has been awful lately. Like just terrible. This whole day has been bad. Now, I know I bitch a lot about my days just being bad in general, because they usually are. I have less good days, like, overall, than I do, like, my bad ones, you know? More of, like, the problem of, yeah, I have my physical health crap going on. Let me see. Twitch, stop telling me my bitrate is bad. It's fine, you piece of shit. I'm getting little notifications from it. I know I bitch about my health a lot, right? But I don't know, it's just a part of who I am, and you're here for me, I would assume. Unless you're just here to make fun of me and my other issues, but that's fine. Who cares? I'll punish you. And not in that cool, funny way like my YouTube channel, you know, is about. No, yeah, today's been exceptionally bad. I've been getting to a point now where, like, I can eat less and less, and I'm surviving, I think, on toast alone. I've lost, like, what must be, God, I don't know, 20 pounds in a month or so. Not great, but it's also kind of cool because it's like I can kind of manipulate this to help, like, treat my Daru like fat ass, right? That's fine. But no, yeah, it's not great. If anybody ever has like anything like, hey, this is my favorite little snack I can have that is go out on your tummy, let me know. I've tried a lot of stuff and nothing helps. Everything I have is like not curable, so it's whatever. Blah, 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 right? It's all the same bitching crap. Who gives a fuck? Oh, I've been doing a lot of stuff lately. I've been having a lot more fun. I've discovered a wonderful person. I'll have to give a shout out to her Twitch channel at some point here, because she's a new Oshi. She's a great Oshi. She's good. I like her little head. Her name's Momo. But yeah, I've been getting more involved like in her stuff, and that's been really fun. I've been watching her debut, and it's interesting how we watch people who are also like younger than us that are just. I guess technically she's not really starting out. This is like a kind of a rebirth kind of thing. But watching someone who's like younger than you also doing something you've gone through in your life, it's very, I don't know, it's like nostalgic and refreshing to see, at least to see people try to do something with their lives. Because VTubing's not easy. I mean, I can't say for certain, right? Because I'm not a big real VTuber man. I'm just me. I'm just here with my little PNG man, because I can't afford a real VTuber model rigging thing. I just speak at you for fun. But no, it's really refreshing to see. It's also nice to see someone try so hard. It motivates you a lot. I want to get back into doing more of my stuff. I keep trying and I keep saying I will, but it's so hard. Like, all this shit's so hard. Just like finding time when I'm not sick is hard. But it's whatever. It's okay. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore about it. Pixel Galaxy, I love this song. I got Snail's House on in the background, just for fun. I don't know how much of this I can get away with if they're gonna mute the VOD later, but who cares? I don't. No one gives a shit about this part anyways. But overall, it's okay. Things are gonna be okay. We're gonna wither a little bit at a time, but until we get like to the worst part, we're gonna do some cool stuff. Man, I remember when this song came out too. Everybody I knew was obsessed with the little music video, little Kirby shit. The little snail girl. by I know the animation's by Speedo Sausage. I don't think he goes by Speedo Sausage anymore. I think he's Speedoru now. Speedoru. Where I know he used to just do more like he just animated hentai shit, and now he's like doing cool stuff too. So it's really nice to see him branch out, or to see somebody branch out at least. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get myself into the zone because I'm so black right now. I'm black feeling. Got some little videos planned for today. I'm still struggling because like I do have a fandom, but my fandom only cares about the voice acting part, right? I'm voice, quote unquote, voice actor first. And then I'm the streamer stuff, right? So, yeah. I gotta turn this music down for me because it's freaking loud as shit. Yeah, because like that's what my focus is first. That's what people know me like. That's what it's been for a while. But anyways, back on topic for what I was talking about things being refreshing, seeing somebody try things. Because God, I'm trying to remember when I really started, when I did that, like, the Bridge group, right? It's so weird thinking how long ago that was. Thinking that there are things in my adult life that are technically current, but not. That also happened right before COVID. Because I knew them back in 2018, right? That was like, what, 6 years ago? Something like that, yeah. And we did a lot of streaming, of course. We did a ton of streaming. The stream team, on average, we get like 100 views. The highest stream we ever did was 331 views. And then I did the stuff with the like the ASMR channel, and we got like, you know, up to 100 views like before cracked it. A lot of cool stuff. Been an entertainer. I think my biggest issue is that I don't play well off of myself. I myself, like by myself, I'm not entertaining, right? I like alone, I'm just kind of me. I can yap about the certain things that I enjoy in life. Like I can go on about anime, I can talk about VTuber crap, on about Penko, talk about little Penko because I love our little head. Oh, I think about Penko now. Oh, I'm sorry. God. This is also the issue of me having ADD. I'll just go on rants, and then these rants will go into other places that make no sense or like have zero continuity. It's fine though. It's relaxing. It's nice to just sit here and talk. I need to learn to yap. Like yapping is a skill that I would like to acquire. I think it's easier when people have an actual audience to go off of, which I don't. I don't have an audience. I at most will have 1 to 2 people at a time ever. Maybe every now and then I'll crack like 5 or 6 when I'm reacting to shit, but yeah, that's about that. I did fuck up going live. I did accidentally say I'm going to be playing Helldivers instead of doing my little yap and whatnot. That's okay. We're good. It's really nice though. I mean, my live is unstable. What's wrong with it? My connection's fine. Oh, it's such a good song too. It's so cute. Sorry, I'm just chilling with the music right now. It just feels good to do so. Oh. It is storming here, so maybe my stream is unstable. Huh. That might be an issue. Let me see, what are my settings at? Appearance, stream, audio, video. Oh shit, I also need to turn this thing off. Where is it? Oh, it's not on, that's good. There is a acoustic software that I run sometimes that I use for working, and OBS does not like it open. So everything else set okay. That's set. All right, let's make sure we're good to do some React content here in a second. Probably gonna have to use the restroom before that, which I apologize, but man, I have been chugging water all day. It is so hot and dry here, like your mom. Close this real quick. I love my little VTuber man. Where's the fuck is Impo? She's like, go live so I can watch you. And she's like, no. I'm gonna DM her right now and say, fuck you. Piece of shit. go on live and then she ignores me. It's okay. All right. We're gonna play a dangerous game and maybe not use the restroom before I do react stuff. Just for fun, see what happens. All right, let me turn the music off quick. Then we're gonna go to the live scene. Bam, look, here we are. We're in a new universe. Oh, what a time to be alive, man. You could just, God, I could just like not care. It's weird because it's just streaming with like a little person there to represent me. And then it's like, oh, it's anime, whatever the fuck. Nice. Nice. Makes me happy. Okay. Let me get into my skin. What's going on with this? Why are you having problems? Average Steam bitrate too high. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. I'm going to get into my skin. Give me 1 second. Behold. Behold. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. It is I, once again. Onii-chan, the ugly bastard of your dreams. How the fuck? Where's she at? Where's she at? Ah! Peko! Look at her little head. I love her head. Oh, she makes me so happy. Look at her. She's perfect. Oh, she's perfect. There's this one tweet she made like a year or so ago. That's just her like with no pants on and it's cropped. And all of a sudden it's just been blowing up today. And she was like, why the fuck is it blowing up? And it's like, yeah, the universe brought you to me once again. Ah, ugly bastard react hours. So, I'm gonna get on with it, right? This first video. This is The VTuber Fandom is Getting Weird by Tiramisu Bunny VT. She is apparently a smaller time VTuber. I just randomly stumbled upon her channel and the idea of what this video might be, it was interesting to me. For those who do not know, I do have to vet my own videos to make sure they're not like fucking weird or like are gonna be too like banned on my own channel. And it's really hard to do when I'm supposed to also react to them. So like it'll just be, okay, I click on the video and I'll click through like 3 spots, like the beginning, middle, and end, just to make sure it's like kind of fine. And then we go from there. But yeah, very nice. I'm excited. I would like to give more attention to people who are like smaller, like VTubers and whatnot, just to help them out. I'm not saying like I'm big enough to help them, but you know, it's okay. All right, let's get on with this. I'm really interested to see where this goes. Ready? 3, 2, 1, play. What?
You ever just sit back, sip
Get
your
the speaker
coffee
model.
and think, man, the VTuber fandom is kind of weird.
Yes, they are.
Not in a bad way necessarily.
Yes, they are.
Twitter has way too much free time kind of way. Some fans are chill,
That's so real.
and
The
just here to
fuck.
have fun. But then you have the ones who treat VTubers like their personal anime protagonists, get way too invested in made-up drama, or act like the streamer missing a single day means the world is ending. And honestly, it's getting exhausting.
That part's awesome. God. So, I grew up in my anime shit, right? I was in it. I was chronically online almost my whole life, right? And VTubing is, at one point, was way more idol culture. Like, when it, like, really started hitting off, it was way more into being idol culture. And not necessarily on the smallest realm, because before a lot of the big stuff happened, there were actually little things available. I've talked about this in another video where a friend of mine, who before like VTubing was even a word, she would there's software you would pirate from like Korea and Japan, and you had to like translate it yourself and make it work. And you could actually have essentially a model rigged up to it. And there are a couple people who did that, but it wasn't super big at the time. But like now that we've gone from the big corpos to actually making it idol stuff to now, essentially, if you either have the artistic talent or the money, you can do it. But the idol culture never left, because like idol culture is just us being parasocial weirdos obsessed with the thing, much like how like I don't know. I guess it is kind of as bad when it comes to like Western actors and whatnot, where people lose their fucking minds over them. It sucks. No, it doesn't. That one sucks. It's Western. No, fuck that one. Fuck the actors. Fuck the fleshies. I love me some VTuber.
So today, let's talk about why the VTuber fandom feels a little off, how we got here, and whether there's any hope left for things to calm down.
It's very cute. That's very cute. It's a sit. No, go back. Hey, it's JoeCat. This isn't cute, and I don't want your follow if you're going to act like this. Demanding things from the streamers is not it, and don't do this. Play Jeff, and I'll follow you. Fuck. I want a Jeff game. Oh, these people are awesome. It's that's always been around in streaming, right? That's not new to VTubers. That's a streamer thing, and it's been around for years and years. It's not going to go away either, because there are people who are like, there's like the couple very few types of fans you're going to have. You're going to have the people who want the interaction. They need the personal attention from the streamer. You have the people who you are just their background noise in general, right? There's some in between, but like those are like, I would say like kind of the primary ones. I'm unfortunately an attention whore. So when the Oshi's on screen, we're like, Onii-chan, is that, look at this guy, and not look at, but like they interact with me in my little messages because I speak Latin in chat. It makes me go, yeah, I love them. Pick a look here. I love her. Okay, I'm sorry. I've worked with JoeCat. We did an audio with him. Love waking up to these. Awesome. Hitsu!
What?
It's like Hitsu!
Obvious. Parasocial behavior. If you've been in the VTuber scene for more than 5 minutes,
I love Kitsu's little head.
Fans losing their minds because a VTuber collabed with someone of the opposite gender, people throwing a full tantrum if a VTuber doesn't stream for a full day, and viewers acting like they own a VTuber because they donated. Once.
Please. What's the...
And the worst part, the bigger a VTuber gets, the worse this gets. Suddenly people start treating them like idols instead of just gamers who talk to a camera.
Well, some of them act like idols, though.
Constant drama.
Sorry, I want to go back and read this big long one. What the fuck that says? It's simply that covering news drama takes a more careful hand than people give it credit for, because if you let yourself get invested, you just start acting malicious and saying stuff you shouldn't. Okay. We're going to read NetEVT right now, have long since passed the malicious threshold. You took someone else's greatest crime was buying models and oh, okay. Is this, I know this is actually a bit more recent, where the person was like, buying like adopt models or whatever, and she was flipping them for like a higher thing, and people were like getting fucking mad at them over it. I don't know. So like, people are so emotionally attached to VTubers, like with that, when it comes to that. So I feel it in two ways, right? I feel like if an item I own, like if I buy it, if I buy the full rights to it, I think it's like, well, it's mine to do with as I please, right? So if I have the license, if I have it and I want to flip it, I'm gonna, like, I should kind of be allowed, at least in my opinion. But I understand there's also some more nuances, because the VTubing like space is so emotionally attached to the concept of, oh, this is the baby of the person, like this is their art, this is their love, or some shit like that. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if I have a real opinion on this that would actually matter, or one that I could say is educated enough in the subject of like what goes on behind the scenes. Oh. Yeah, okay.
I swear every week there's a new controversy that people act like is the end of the world.
There is.
One VTuber breathes wrong and suddenly it's trending with
90% of VTuber drama is trash.
And let's be honest, 90% of these dramas are just completely
Yeah,
pointless.
she said it. Yeah. She's right. They're like...
And the cycle is always the same.
They're like, somebody has like the most nothing take on something ever, and there's a fucking drama, and it's just like high school baby bullshit again. It's like, what are we even doing? Are we gonna make a doc about somebody about fucking nothing, right? Like, really? There's like there's just a doc like about like, oh, people will say like, here's how I was treated by this VTuber, and it's they got banned from the Discord because they were being an asshole. It's nothing. People, God, drama is so stupid bullshit. It's not like the cool drama where like people's lives are affected. Like, man, like Rima's stuff, like she covers big things. She covers a lot of like really in-depth, like big things that happen in the VTuber space. But people just whine and bitch because it's just like I said, it's just some kind of high school club. And again, people are so emotionally attached to all this. It's awesome. It's exactly what I need. It's like I don't know if anybody remembers what it's like being on the old boards in like the early 2000s to mid 2000s, and all this stuff would not have been out in the open in other places. Like there wouldn't have been a place like Twitter to go to where you could just share that with whoever the fuck you wanted on the internet. It was so concentrated to like these little fandoms of things. And you could go there and you would have the most heated of conversations about stuff, right? But now it's like it's quote unquote mainstream. It's not like mainstream enough to normies who are like, I don't know what a VTuber is. It's mainstream to more of the anime fandom in general. And unfortunately, when you spread your net fucking wide, you're gonna catch some of the dumbest people you've ever met in your fucking life.
A VTuber gets accused of something, people fight on Twitter over it, someone makes a 40-minute YouTube essay about it, and then a week later, no one even remembers it happened. It's like VTuber Twitter doesn't want to function unless there's something to be mad about. Meanwhile, the VTuber question is just sitting there playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
Another weird thing, some fans completely forget that VTubers are real people. Like, VTubers have lore, sure, but that doesn't mean they're literally playing a role 24/7. Yet, some fans expect them to be perfectly in character all the time, and freak out if they say something or do something that doesn't fit into their lore. Okay, but here's the thing.
Do they?
Some VTubers absolutely encourage this behavior.
Yeah, they do. Oh. It's powder. Ah, fucking powder, man. Shit. But no, yeah, there are a lot of them, like, I don't know if it's, like, really encouraging, like, a good amount of that behavior, right? Because there are some who are just... They're playing a part, and they're playing a character. Some really dive into being the VTuber to being the idol. And yeah, there are people who are going to be like, oh shit, why are you doing this? But I don't know. I don't really see a lot of people being like, why are you acting out of character? Because a lot of YouTubers make a lot of change over time. Like Pikami. If anybody ever watched Pikami, who she started as versus who she is now feels like an entirely different person. But people still love her. Like there's a lot of people who like followed her to being who she is now. And it just, I don't know, people grow. We pay so close attention to every little thing that like these people do on the internet. They're so like in the public eye, and every little thing, like every little comment is there to be recorded and criticized. And instead of just being like, okay, yeah, things change over time, where, oh, why is it different? Why are you doing this? But again, I don't think it's rampant, because I'm in this space constantly. I'm on VTuber Twitter constantly. I'm watching VTubers constantly, and I'm on VT board constantly, right? And VT board is not to be taken seriously. All those people are fucking stupid. We all know this. But I don't know. It doesn't seem rampant.
Some literally pretend to be your girlfriend or boyfriend to farm donations.
Yeah, girlfriend experience
Others
stuff.
lean into the drama reviews and then act surprised when their fandom is a mess. And let's be real, some just never set boundaries, so fans get way too attached.
When you are a LewTuber, but no one wants to make that safer contact with you. It's awesome. Mrs. Mommy Lewd. Good on them. You know what? They're playing the bit. Good on them. If you want to be a LewTuber, who gives a fuck? Like, you can have these weird spaces like this, and you can also set boundaries. It doesn't mean like the boundaries don't exist. You can also curate your own fandoms. If you want people to be like, come in and be like, haha, not safe for work, or be into the not safe for work stuff, yeah, you can do that. And if there are people who are, how would I say, would take it too far via your opinion, then you can honestly boot them from from your spaces. And the people who are actual fans of you, who are smart enough to understand that, will stay. The ones who didn't care in the first place are gonna go regardless of what you say or do. I don't know. It's all about curating, but like, Yeah, there's also ones though that do attract the fucking weirdos. I'm not saying there aren't the weirdos out there. Like girlfriend experience ones, people go nuts over. I I don't know. I'm not very big into girlfriend experience like stuff. I don't gain more emotional attachment over the thought of friendship or over like romantic stuff. I think like, oh, it would be cool to hang out with them more than it'd be like, oh yeah, I want to date them. They're whatever. I don't know. It's yeah, it doesn't feel as rampant as I think it's trying to point out, but that's just my opinion on this. Who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe she's from a different part of the internet that I've either not seen or dived into. Maybe she has a different experience because I'm also a gross ugly bastard VTuber, like PNG man, right? I don't have the actual experience right now firsthand from what it's like to be Woman's behind the VTuber model because I can admit that like there are probably way more dudes out there who are more rabid than like the amount of womans out there who are like that for like boyfriend type content. Now, the ones who are into boyfriend type content, they're hardcore fucking rabid, but there are not as many of them. Speedo sausage.
Like, I get it. Money is money, but don't be surprised when your chat turns into a creepy, obsessed mess. So, is there hope? Yes, because not all VTuber fans are like this. There are plenty of people who just want to vibe, watch streams, and enjoy the content.
All right, we have 30 seconds left.
Yeah!
Otherwise, this will be a match.
Million!
Okay, hold on.
No, my little head's in her way.
Say it like that. This is the joy of streaming. This is the joy of streaming. I get to talk to all you people, but more importantly, I get to talk to Tiramisu. How you doing? See, that's all right.
Reloading.
I'm not moving. I'm not fucking moving.
Valorant.
Damn it.
I should start playing Valorant to give me an e-girlfriend.
But if the VTuber fandom wants to stop being the internet's weirdest community, we need to stop treating VTubers like idols and notice that they're streamers. They're not perfect anime waifus. Let go of stupid drama because half of it doesn't even matter. Respect boundaries because a donation does not make you someone's bestie. And remember, it's just entertainment.
What about enough donations?
We're here to enjoy it. Don't lose yourself in it. So yeah, the VTuber fandom is weird, but it doesn't have
Very much so.
Let me know in the comments, what's the weirdest thing you've seen in the VTuber community? And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because trust me, I've got plenty more to say about internet culture. See you next time.
That was actually a very wonderful video by this person. You can tell they're just starting out. They're like, obviously they're like a smaller channel, but good on them. There was some decent editing in there. They tried to put some good stuff in. They seem to have approached this with like a very like headstrong opinion. But there are things about like treating them like idol culture. I think idol culture to an extent is fine because there's a lot of people who build themselves up wanting to be the idol. It's not entirely of everybody is raising them up alone, so turning them into an idol. It's people want to start as it. People want to be famous. People want to be known. They want to be heard. They want adoring fans, right? And I understand that, like, yeah, we can't treat everybody like that. But I think when you have this kind of like mindset of we're treating it the entirety in the blanket, like a blanketed process, right? It's not proper because when you would say like streamers in general, I would not take the entirety of streamers as one single culture. And I think it's because there's too many variations of stuff out there for that to matter. Like, because remember, at one point, streamers, most of them were like either vloggers or they were like gamers. I think most part being gamers. Like back in the day, those old Modern Warfare 2 streams, those were what people watched because it was mostly dudes wanting to watch like competitive gaming. And then it came out with people like doing their life stuff. And those two things I would not lump together. And VTubing is also very much so like this. VTubing is we are as individuals. Yes, we have some that are groups, but even within those groups, I would call them individuals. Like the same way I would watch like Callie or Gigi or even like Panko or like Pippa, right? They each have their own culture around them that they're curating. And as a fan, you are, I would say, responsible, or you should be smart enough to recognize the culture around this individual. If they want to be treated like an idol, if they want to be put up on a pedestal, if they want to be like risen up above, and you are their fan, you want to support them the way they want to be supported, do it. It's not entirely bad, but of course everything can be taken to an extent. And if you go to like Pippa's chat and you try to do that to her, she's gonna say some slurs at you. That's awesome. I love her, by the way. But no, I don't know. I don't hold this too much of like, again, a blanketed opinion. Of course, there's always going to be weirdos. No matter what you do in life, there's going to be weirdos. There's going to be parasocials. We've had that forever. We've had that with like people IRL, where some dude fucking talks to a lady and she just like, I don't know, blinks at him the wrong way, and he takes it as the wrong message, and he becomes like infatuated. And we've had people who are like doing creepy stalker stuff or being weirdos like that. That's everywhere. That's in every culture. That's in every fandom. Even for like big actors IRL. How many of those actresses have probably been like stalked on the street by fucking weirdos who thought they loved them? It's yeah, it's too broad. It's too there's too much going on from person to person to just say, oh, stop treating them like idols. Because I think as fans, there's a lot of fans who are looking for idols. They are looking for girlfriend experience, or they are looking for just your generic chill person. And most of them were going to be like, okay, this person's not what I'm looking for. They're going to move on. There's so much variety and so many different people in the VTuber space that you have that option. Let's say like I'm watching like someone and they're like, oh, all they do is leak content, and then they fucking ASMR in my ear being like, ah, yeah, sure, my fans, you're the cool, you're the alphas or whatever. And I'm gonna be like, I don't like this, I'm gonna go. Right. The ones who are interested will stay. The ones who want to treat you the way you want to be treated will stay. The ones who are there to cause harm, they're gonna cause harm. That's just how it is. They're gonna find you. And then you do what you can to get them out of your fandom. And like I've mentioned before, you curate your own fandom and you have everybody culminate together into what you want them to be. But I'm sorry, I know I'm ranting a lot about this. It's just too much of a blanketed statement to be like, we need to stop treating a lot of people like this. And nothing against our kind presenter here. I don't have anything against their opinion. This is just my own, just coming from my own experience. But no, that was really good. That was really, really nice. Somebody's putting themselves out there. I have a lot of respect for people who are willing to put themselves out there and make content like this in general. But please, if you can, go give them a follow. Their name is Tiramisu Bunny VT on YouTube. I assume they do some Twitch stuff. Yep, they have a Twitch channel. So go give them support. It'd be greatly appreciated. All right. Oh, enough yapping about that. I am going to use the restroom really quick, and then we will return with our second video. So give me one moment, I'll be right back. Meh. Look who's back. All right. All right. I apologize about that. I have the bladder of an old man. Okay. Don't judge me. Oh, it's a good time. I'm having a good time. We're having a little stream. We're all together, and I got my panko here. Look at her. Bubba whoopie panko. Jesus Christ. But yeah. Oh, a lot to do today. Get through the stream. I wanted some reaction content for my channel. And then I have to edit them down. That's the least fun part. I hate video editing. Video editing is awful. It's awful and terrible, and I wish it would stop. I want my video editing to be like, I want to tell a machine, yeah, make this good for me, and I'll just chill here. I have to watch the Sword Hero Bumpkin Country Bumpkin anime. I'm only on episode 3 of that. I need to watch more of it. Please. Do more for me. But no. Okay. So, this one is something I'm interested in. The current job culture is fucking ass right now, and especially in America. I'm not too sure what it's like in the rest of the world because I'm American and I don't really have to know what's going on in the rest of the world. It's just kind of our like birthright. But yeah, this one is called Gen Z Isn't Lazy. We're just rejecting BS jobs, which holy shit, that's so real. By Philosophical Gamer. I'm interested in a lot of like, because a lot of Gen Z is pretty old now. There are a lot of them like they're what? They're early 20s now, something like that. Enough to have jobs, enough to pay taxes, enough to go to war. And all they like, there's so much just meaningless garbage shit jobs. There was that when I was working like 10, 15 years ago. I mean, probably not 15 years ago. I've been too young for that, but so I started working the moment I turned 18. Like the moment I was allowed to have a job, I started working. And back then, there were worthless jobs. Now, there are more worthless jobs. There's probably... The thing with now is that, like, I think every generation is noticing that more jobs, like, as time goes on, are just awful. And it's stopped, like, no longer being this thing of, like, hey, I need work, I need money, I'm going to do this, to this fucking sucks. This sucks ass. I don't want to do this. People are terrible. You're not paying me shit. And the only thing I'm doing is making a big rich man richer while I'm down here on the bottom doing 12 hours of manual labor, getting nowhere in life, right? And I think a lot of people are way more like realizing that now. Where before, like my grandfather would have been like, just take the job, just work and suck it up and deal with it. But people are more choosy now, which I don't know. I have no idea if that's a good thing. We'll see. Ready? 3, 2, 1, start.
Gen Z doesn't want to work anymore, and between these dogshit wages and this totally broken economy, we should all completely support them on this. But society will collapse.
Look at that little man.
Works. This is a common rebuttal from delusional boomers and corporate shills I'm sure you've all heard by now. This actually isn't entirely true. There's a major caveat to the statement, but we'll get into that a bit later.
I'm listening,
but the main
sir.
problem with the statement is that this applies to many other things as well, not just work. For example, society will also collapse eventually if nobody has kids. Now, I know historically speaking, people and especially women were shamed for not having kids, but we've made a lot of progress on that front. And today, generally speaking, we don't judge, shame, or criticize someone for choosing not to have kids. Don't worry, I'm not one of those weird tradcons trying to force everyone into having kids again. Quite the opposite. I'm a childless 35-year-old millennial myself. I may or may not choose to have kids in the future. I really don't know and don't care right now, to be.
I think right now it's too hard for a lot of people to think about having children right now. I cannot imagine what you would probably have to go through to not only support like your family, like your like lover or whatever, or your wife or your husband or something, and then a child on top of that, and then raise them on what might be like one of the worst political ecosystems we've had in America, like divisive wise, for like fucking ever. And we're not like going to civil war like we were doing in like, you know, the 1700s, but it's not great right now. It's so us versus them. Nobody can afford things. It sucks. And then I think a lot of people see the kind of tech hellscape we're moving towards, And it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't know, having a kid more in that kind of world is like easy at the moment. I don't know if I'm gonna look at it from like a, oh yeah, it's against the system kind of thing. Fuck you, and you're telling me I gotta have kids and whatnot. I think it's more of like an economical decision more than a lot of other factors.
Be honest. I'm just pointing out a major logical inconsistency here. The argument that, but society will collapse if nobody works, is always used to hardcore blame, shame, and humiliate people who choose to be unemployed. But the exact same argument can be applied to people who choose not to have kids.
Can it?
Society will also eventually collapse if everyone stops having kids. This is just a fact, and it's already happening right now in many countries right in front of our eyes as we speak. So, why is it that we generally respect someone's personal choice to not have kids, but we hardcore shame them for their personal choice to not work?
I think a lot of like, when it comes to somebody's personal choice to not work, if you're not bringing in money in any way whatsoever, the reality is things around you cost money. Eating costs money, living costs money, having a home costs money, running the home costs money, travel costs money. And if you're not working, who's picking up that bill? Who in society is picking up the bill for you? Are you getting some kind of check in the mail every month? Right? Kichan, what, you want me to meow for you right now? I don't have my socials on. God damn it. I'm so dumb. All right, Kichan, I will meow for you one time during this video, okay? Meow. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Back to what I was saying. But yeah, somebody's got to pick up that bill. And who's picking it up? Are you making your parents do it? Are you making your neighbors do it? Are you making your friends do it? Like, where are you getting money from if you don't work? And I'm not even talking about like, the fuck you mean cringe? Fuck you. Kichan, I love your little head. You are the mascot of my server. Those who don't know, Kichan is really cool, and she's really small and really pretty, and she does a lot of cool stuff, and she's the mascot of my server. She's also our piss monster, or pee monster. Whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so who's picking that up? It's like, maybe you do some things from time to time. Maybe you take commissions, right? But that's still working. Are you saying you're giving that up too? And I'm not against like the idea of like, okay, things are hard, things are tough, but again, when you don't do something, somebody has to pick up the slack. And if somebody's picking up the slack for you entirely, I don't think that's fair. Like, what are you doing to provide? Maybe he'll get into that point. I don't know. But it's like, I also don't know about the comparison of like, if nobody has kids, because I feel like that's a massive leap. And like, well, if somebody doesn't do this, then they don't do this, it's going to have the same outcome, right? But it's like, I think they're two entirely different subjects that you can talk about, that things are different for almost two entirely different reasons. Where I think, again, like I said, having kids right now is a more of a like an economic choice for a lot of people. And there's a lot of people who also enjoy their freedom. I understand that, right? Because like kids kind of weigh you down. You have a little ball of responsibility you have to take care of. And that's fine. That's I think that's absolutely fine if that's how you want to live your life. I don't give a fuck whether or not you want to have kids or not. I hate to say it. In fact, people who don't have kids are usually more like enjoyable to be around, because all you're gonna do is talk about your kids and how much things suck or how tired you are. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Oh boy, that would have been bad. I had my mouse over the stop streaming button and I almost clicked.
Wait, stop. I know what you're thinking. It's because if you don't work, then you're a burden to others who do work. But wait, once again, this exact same argument can also be applied to those who choose not to have kids. Somebody who puts in the immense time, money, and energy investment into raising kids is raising a future worker for society. And when this kid grows up, he will eventually have to pay for the social security check of someone who didn't have kids. So it's funny to me how we relentlessly complain about paying a few extra tax dollars to support struggling families on welfare. Why should I have to pay for somebody else's kids, right? And yeah, I highly doubt...
I say not all of those people are struggling. Like, there are people who know how to game the system. I'm not saying that's all of them, but like, boy, there are people who know how to game the system. I have known some people in my life that wow, you have you got a disability and you're driving a big, cool, awesome truck that's 4 times the price of any vehicle I'll ever own. Oh, you have the nicest house. Oh, you just have a bunch of children that you like have in your care that you're just getting checks from the month every month. That's cool. But no, that's not everybody. But I think one thing is like we don't have a choice, and when it comes to paying taxes, it's like when it comes time to pay taxes, it's we don't like get to say tell the government, "I'll fuck off," or I'll go to jail. But we do have a choice to pay for those around us willingly, and the people around us who are willfully not doing shit, that are leeching off of us. That it's like, well, I could just tell you no, go get a job. But if you're a loved one, it's really hard to tell that person, or like, I'm gonna let you starve today, especially like with parents and their kids. Like, I understand there's also a lot of like younger people who live with their parents now and that are just kind of mooching off of them. I mean, I do to an extent the same thing, because I'm not going to say I'm perfect in this. I'm fucking busted to hell. I need assistance with living. I cannot live alone because of something like if I were to just fall, I think my back would be so destroyed that I would not be able to move. I think that's where I'm at right now with how like messed up my body is. And of course, there's like a lot of work opportunities I'm missing, but there's still little things I do, little things I help out with. There's still some income I try to bring into the house to take care of all my own shit, and with the assistance of somebody like helps me live, right? But that's a willful choice where paying taxes is not. You can argue, yes, if you want to be able to have, can be like, oh, just don't pay your taxes, just go to jail, right? But that's not like, I don't think that's necessarily living in the reality of things, where the average worker is going to work, they're paying their shit, giving the government man his government bucks, and all the other shit going along with it. But you're laying on my couch, you're just not doing it. You're soaking up my air, you're taking up my heaters, my air conditioning, you're eating from my fridge, and you've not participated in it in any way. I think that's more of like where I'm coming from with this like kind of people.
Will be complaining about welfare when these kids grow up and have to pay our social security. So, who's really the burden on who here? Now, once again, I want to reiterate that
I think
I'm
that's just
not
how
telling you
society
to have
works,
kids.
though.
I'm not even sure if I want them myself. I'm just asking a simple question here.
Fucking
If
yeeted
everyone
that man.
chooses to stop having kids, society will collapse. Just like if everyone chooses to stop working, society will collapse. So, why do we respect their decision to not have kids, but we relentlessly hardcore shame them for their decision to not work?
I don't know where this like thing is coming from, or like if everyone. I don't think like people in the real world think about the mindset of like, well, what if everyone did this? That's not realistic. That's not a goal to reach for with any sort of like argument. Be like, oh yeah, what if everybody did this? They would have societal collapse. Like, nobody fucking thinks like that. What? Not a single person, like real person out there thinks like that. I've been in this shit before. I've been to job. I've met tons of people. I've gone everywhere from different kinds of churches, different kinds of religions, different kinds of things. And the amount of people I've met that I would be like, have real conversation with, would never say, yeah, but what if everybody did this? That's not fucking real. That's not a real mindset. I don't know who would be on like both sides of this argument, but that's both kind of fucking stupid in my opinion.
Well, I did some digging, and as it turns out, it's just another psyop, another psychological manipulation.
Oh yeah, let's get into this.
Delusional boomers and corporate shills used to blame, shame, and gaslight you into accepting these dog shit low wages and slavery-esque working conditions that they want to force you into.
I could say to an extent, like, yeah, that's probably true. Like, so like a lot of our lives, right? It's run by money that we never see. It's run by people at the top who we're never ever going to meet in our lives. We're never ever going to have anything to even close to the power that they hold. And everything around us is so curated for manipulation in some way, right? I can believe, yeah, to an extent, there's probably some psyop out there of like shaming people. I feel like the whole quiet quitting thing was a fucking psyop. Young teenager who's not ready to be a mother get pregnant instead. That's how Thailand works. The fuck, Onii-chan. Yeah, like we invented a term for people who are literally just fulfilling their contract in the workplace. I 100% believe that is a psyop from the higher ups to try and be like, we need to put some kind of negative connotation behind it to make sure like when somebody is doing this, we can like gather people around. Because one, I hate to say this, boomers can be fucking stupid. Not all of them, of course, right? But there are some who are like, I worked hard, I pulled myself up by the bootstraps and all that shit. That's like, great job. All you did was tell corpos that you can work harder for less. Thank you, man. Thank you. Because it's like, I've been in those hard ass factories where I've had to bust my ass in 100-degree heat, moving lots of stuff, pouring molten metal, making molds, working with things like tractors and shit. I've done things with like cranes and whatnot. And the only thing people did before me is like, yeah, boss man, we're gonna go in and we're gonna work harder. I'm gonna show them I can give 110%. And did you get paid 110%? Most likely not. I'm sorry, that's my rant. Kicha, what are you talking about condoms in my chat? What the fuck are you on about?
Hey guys, just wanted to say real quick, thank you all so much for 20,000 subscribers now. Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
I
Good for him.
seriously am so grateful. I have no words. Like, we're just growing so fast right now. It feels like just yesterday we hit 10K. So yeah, just wanted to say thanks. And if you're new here and enjoying this content, definitely consider
Even if I can
subscribing
disagree with
for
somebody,
more
doesn't mean I'm not
epic
like proud of them
takedowns
for trying their
all these evil
hardest.
corporate lies.
Yeah,
Part
fuck
one,
corpos. Fuck
bullshit
'em.
Jobs. So, do you remember in the beginning of the video when I told you that the phrase society will collapse if nobody works is not entirely true? It's only true if you add a major caveat to it. Society will collapse if nobody does essential work is the actual true statement here. You all remember not that long ago when the whole world shut down and only those labeled essential workers were allowed to actually
GameStop.
keep working. This just totally proved that the overwhelming majority of jobs are not essential. The late great anthropologist David Graeber made a great case for this in his now famous book, Bullshit Jobs. Graeber makes the case that around 50% of jobs serve no real meaning or purpose.
I can
and
believe
he gives
that.
several very compelling examples. Perhaps the most iconic one from his book is the doorman at luxury hotels, who spends most of his day dressed in a fancy costume and putting a fake professional look on his face. His only job, so to speak, is to open the door for the rich guests of the luxury hotel. And let's face it, society is not going to collapse if he decides.
Okay, that's just rich people putting on their airs bullshit, right? There's like the whole thing about you're paying for an experience, and he's absolutely right about like, well, if that job went away, who gives a fuck? You're gonna have to open the door yourself, boo boo hoo, right? But that's just them putting on this like show of, yes, welcome to this rich people establishment for rich people. Come on in with our little servant man who treats you, you know, like you're a king. Your little bellhop here, he's gonna carry all your shit upstairs for you. All those jobs, he's right. Yeah, they could be replaced, or they can be done yourself manually. But that's all for show. There's a lot of jobs that are just for show. It's like the Walmart greeters, or like even to an extent like a bunch of cashiers. Because like how much stuff now is like, oh yeah, I just ring out myself. There's a bunch of bullshit jobs that are only there entirely for show, and I think they're there instated because of older people still in charge believe that it's part of a presentation that you need to have as a company to just like, oh yes, see how we function. We have all these people with these little things. Yeah, I can agree with that.
To stop working, and rich people have to open their own doors. In fact, not only do these bullshit jobs not contribute to society, a lot of them actually actively harm society.
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to take it in any certain way, right? Because like even if they themselves don't necessarily contribute to society via that job, the money they make does. The taxpayer money they pay does. Because that person's going to take that money and they're going to pump it back into the economy. Right? They're going to keep it into their, like, especially if you have like a local economy, a little one, you're going to keep it circulating. You're going to keep yourself going. I think like, if you want to look at it like that, of course, like no one's going to say I have like the person making me a cheeseburger is the most important person in society. But again, his wages are also going to like things that I would also pay myself. It's just how society is run currently. Little people make something, little people give back.
The best example of this is a corporate lawyer. Everyone agrees monopolies are bad, right? Whether you're a capitalist or a communist, we can all pretty much universally agree that monopolies are bad. Well, a
Yeah.
lot of monopolistic companies staff armies of corporate lawyers whose sole purpose is to find and exploit legal loopholes to protect their monopoly. They contribute absolutely no benefit to society. In fact, they actively harm society because by helping maintain monopolies, they stifle healthy competition and innovation. Call me lazy for being unemployed all you want. Even if I contribute nothing to society, at least I'm not actively harming it the way corporate lawyers are. But this does lead
I think
to an
that's funny.
interesting question.
Fuck the
and a
corporate
bit of a
lawyers.
paradox.
It's funny.
You see, these delusional boomers and corporate chills constantly shame Gen Z for not wanting to work with the whole, but society will collapse if nobody works argument. Yeah, have you noticed?
Who said that? Like, I've never heard anyone say that. Who is saying this? Is this just some shit you see on Twitter? Because this only seems like some shit you see on Twitter or Facebook. Like, oh, the damn kids aren't working, everything's gonna collapse. Like, I've never heard a real human being in a real life say this. Who is saying this? I'm super curious. And are they saying it with a blue check mark next to the name in order to rile you up and get those funny bucks? Because like, if they did, then it worked. Boy, did they do their bait.
That the essential workers, the ones who actually keep society from collapsing, they're the ones who get looked down on, spit on, and paid absolute dog shit wages from these same delusional boomers and corporate chills.
I don't know. Like,
the essential workers.
construction pays pretty well. Welding pays pretty well.
There are absolutely good, hardworking people who keep our society running. Farmers who grow the food that feed all of us, construction workers who build the houses and the infrastructure we all live in. Even grocery store workers, as I'm sure we'd all rather just buy a meal at the store than hunt for it in the wild. Now, if the logic for why we should all be forced to work is, but somebody has to work or society will collapse, I would totally be cool with this argument if the people who did the most essential jobs that keep society running were paid the most, looked up to for being successful, and treated well by society. If they do the most important jobs, it only...
Who's not treating construction workers well? Or who's not treating doctors well? Or who's not treating, like, masonaries well? Who's not treating electricians well? I can understand where he's coming from with this. But again, this... I hate to say it, feels like an argument of he saw some shit on Twitter and then he's getting mad at it in his head. Maybe I'm just a little backwards man, ugly bastard man, but I have never seen anyone shit on those people. There was a period of time where I would say where it's like, God, do you remember the learn to code era? The learn to code era, like on Twitter, where people were like, "Oh yeah, we're losing our jobs, they're media, whatever, labor jobs or whatever," and people were like, "Oh, you better learn to code, boomer, because you're gonna need it for future." But a lot of people, real people in the real world, understand that jobs that are specialized like that, they will last forever. People are always gonna have to be pooping. And that poop's got to go somewhere, right? And there's always going to be a guy around to fix when the poop don't go where it's supposed to go. People will pay good money to make sure that poop needs to go where it's supposed to. Same thing for building houses, or same thing for being a doctor, or same thing for like jobs in society that, yeah, I could say do create something or provide some form of real quote unquote value. No, I don't think anybody's really looked down upon. I think what you can look down upon, or like what I've remember, or I've seen people look down upon, is how a lot of people who are like to present themselves. Like, if you see a plumber and he's not wearing like a Led Zeppelin shirt and the shittiest jeans you've ever seen in your life and the boots, and he's got some stains on it, that's not, like, that man's not real. It's the one who's got the ass crack hanging out, and he's gonna say some bullshit about, yeah, the pipe's doing this and this, and it's leaking here, and I'm gonna have to go to Lowe's and get this thing and fix it. And he's just like sits in his truck for 10 seconds drinking his Coke, listening to Pour Some Sugar on Me, and then he drives away. That's the man I want fixing my pipes. That dude knows what he's talking about. I believe him. Maybe that's just me. I've been around working people my whole life. Like, from my grandfather, who was like, who could do master mechanic work. He could He could build houses. I've built houses with him. We've done electrician work, and I've known so many people because he's had so many connections about like everyone. And not one of those people I've ever heard like, oh yeah, I'm getting shit on for being a construction worker. In fact, like, what was that whole era of like, wow, construction worker, a man who can actually build something, and the, like you'd see like the generic like lady on television like, oh, it's awesome, he's hot, like he's built. We know he makes good money because like I've seen a bunch of these like paying jobs for construction that like make good money. I've worked for construction a little bit. I didn't like do any like the real hard stuff. I just had to move a lot of like materials around, but it paid well.
Makes sense that they get treated the best, right? Yeah, how does society actually treat these very essential workers? It depends on for its survival. You don't deserve a living wage. You're a low-skilled worker. Huh, he works at a grocery store? What a loser. You mean to tell me you should get $20 an hour for working at Walmart? Huh. This is probably
Who's
the
saying
most
that?
disgusting behavior I've noticed when it comes to delusional boomers and corporate shills. These people spend their whole lives treating essential workers like crap and then subsequently performing mental gymnastics to justify it. They pay them like dog shit.
I could agree with that to
treat
an
them
extent.
like dog shit, look down on them, spit on them,
Management never
humiliate them,
respects their
and we all
employees.
know and have experienced this. And yet, when it comes time to defend their pathetic, broken system, they suddenly and magically become an essential worker's best friend overnight. Hey,
how corporals are.
work or society will collapse. This argument is basically using essential workers as a meat shield to protect their joke of a system that only benefits them.
Yeah, that's how corporations work. The corporate is just a wild beast, right? And it's just gonna fight for its survival. It's gonna do what it needs to like to get by. It's gonna be your best friend one second, and then it's gonna be your enemy the next. That's why it's like a lot of people who are in charge, you can't really trust them. You got to figure out like, okay, where's this money going? Where's it going? Like coming from? There's a lot of manipulation happening. I can agree with that. I also agree, like, boy, the people who are not like a foreman, because I've trusted a lot of foremans. I've known a lot of foremans who they weren't afraid to get in the shit. But I've known people who were their boss, who are just like the corporate man in his little suit. I've worked at a place to where the guy in charge of the factory was afraid to come out onto the floor because he said it was like walking into a zoo. That's the kind of people I think of. Like, they don't respect what we're doing. The kind of people who would like, who've never really lifted anything heavy in their life, who have always been more on the educated side of things or more on the management or leadership side. A lot of them I have met that are like fucking assholes about it.
Then after that, they can go right back to exploiting them for dogshit wages while they sit around doing nothing all day. I can't count how many times I've seen a corporate shill in the comments going, but if you don't work, you're a burden to the farmer who has to work to feed you. Funny thing is, I've never seen a comment like this from an actual farmer himself, only from people exploiting the farmer for their own profits. But here's the truth. Unless you're a farmer yourself, you're going to be a burden to farmers. Here's an interesting historical fact.
Aren't most farmers like business owners? Like they own their own thing and they just sell out to the companies that buy?
Anywhere between 100 to 150 days of holiday per year. They work less than half the amount a modern farmer has to work. How can this be? You're probably wondering. We have so much better technology and machines today that theoretically should make a modern farmer's job much easier. Well, the answer is because in medieval times, almost everyone did some level of agrarian farm work, while today, less than 2% of the population are farmers, which means they have to work way harder to feed the rest of us. And on top of that, they don't even get paid that well to do so, because like the rest of us, they're being forced to be exploited for capitalist profits. So, if you're so
farmers are some of the richest people I've met personally in my life. What? Am I mistaken in like feeling that way? It's like I live around all farmland. There's a farm across the street from my house. I go outside and I walk for 30 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm in a cornfield. Behind me, there are farms. The entirety of the roadway driving toward town is farmland after farmland. All those people, they got the nicest trucks. They got big ass houses. They got cool motorcycles and shit. They're the ones I've always known that for some reason has a television larger than any man could ever need in their life. Like, I have never known a poor farmer. I've never known a poorly paid farmer. for something that is in high demand like that, something that's also like crazy labor, because like crazy amount of labor as well. I what? What? Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there are farmers who are paid poorly. But to my knowledge, most farmers own their farms. That's at least what I've known. Like, and a lot of them just essentially sell to whoever's buying the local products. They sell in bulk. If anybody out there is a farmer and you can like correct me in my comments, I'd actually be greatly appreciated. I'm interested in knowing your side of things because I'd like to hear your experience of if you think you're paid fairly for your work, or how that goes in the back. Oh,
Concern about not being a burden to farmers or essential workers is not the unemployed who are the biggest burden to them here. In fact, a rich person working a bullshit job is probably going to be a much bigger burden, given that his consumption needs are going to be much, much higher, and his job either contributes nothing
what does
or even actively
consumption
harms
means
society.
mean
If
here?
you're so concerned about society collapsing if nobody wants
His
to work,
consumption needs what?
you better be
What
prepared
would that
for those
be?
corporate lawyers, middle managers, CEOs, and all these other useless bullshit jobs
The
to work on a
Bezos.
farm or in a grocery store for doxa wages too. Because if everyone learned to have some level of self-sufficiency again, that's what would truly reduce the
Oh, is he
burden
talking
on
about
essential
working
workers.
on a farm, being
But,
like a
yeah, I
farmhand?
didn't think so. They
Because those
showed
people
you
I've
as
known
being
get like
lazy
paid
for
really
not
pretty well
wanting to
too. They
work.
get paid a good living
That has
wage.
nothing to do with their concern for the very essential workers they constantly spit on. It's so that they can shame, blame, and manipulate you into taking low-paying essential jobs yourself as well, so that they can continue to exploit you while doing absolutely nothing themselves. Part 3. The cognitive dissonance of work. AI has already replaced 14% of jobs, and this number is only going to get exponentially worse. But you don't even need to believe the AI hype. Long before AI took over, automation and outsourcing already replaced
Yeah.
a significant amount of
That's been
jobs.
around forever.
This is why it was already so hard to find a job, even long before AI existed. To me, the biggest argument for why Gen Z is right for not wanting to work isn't that work sucks, or is meaningless, or doesn't pay enough. Though those are all absolutely true as well. The biggest reason for me is that even if everyone actually wanted to work, there simply aren't enough jobs available for everyone now. Cognitive dissonance is a term you're probably all familiar with by now. It is a psychological phenomenon where a person has two beliefs that
I see. At least in Finland, farmers don't make enough money that it's profitable to keep doing farm stuff. His friend's family had milk cows. They had to stop because they couldn't afford doing it anymore in this economy. Okay, so that's interesting to hear about. Like I said, the only farmers I've ever known in my life are fucking rich. I said, I don't know if he maybe was talking about working on a farm as like a farmhand or something, but I know a lot of people who do know how to operate a lot of the heavy vehicles and whatnot, or how to take care of the actual plants or the land or the animals. They were making a decent living wage. Yeah, I don't know how that's like for a lot of people. I'm curious to know. I'll actually have to look into that because I feel I'm ignorant on the subject as I am now. Uh, the AI thing. I think when it comes to AI, this is something that's been around forever. It's money, the need for money in corporations is always had the need for advancement in technology. It's how do we do things faster? How do we do things cheaper? How do we do things paying less people to do it? And that's been around forever. Like people who had to make paper by hand, then they had a machine to make paper for them, and now we have mass productions like going on for like a ton of stuff. And the industry is going to keep changing. It's going to do it forever. It's just how it is. It's just like I said, it's a beast that will do what it needs to survive in the best way possible. And he's right. There's not going to be jobs for everyone, but it's also always been like that. Not everybody in history has had a job. We're at a point now where society kind of needs a lot of this stuff to live. Yes, you can be self-sufficient, but it's way harder than ever since everybody owns every bit of land around you. And it's a sink or swim kind of life at the moment. I think if you truly are worried about AI and you have the freedom or you have the ability to learn and educate yourself on it, like maybe learn how to get yourself into the workforce. Because I think when it comes to a lot of tech, there's going to be always someone need to be in the background, right? someone's gonna have to make the stuff run. You know, like I guess you could say like make the sausage. Someone's gonna need to know how to fix those servers. Someone's gonna always need to know how to make the actual like physical stuff work, because the AI is not like existent in itself. Of course, maybe we'll have a robot one day, but as it is right now in your life, maybe you should look into educating yourself to become part of the industry. I'm not saying I like AI being like, oh, it's gonna take us over, we're gonna have freaking Skynet shit. But if it's something you're worried about, maybe consider it. We had a thing here earlier this year where you couldn't find beef anywhere and stored because is this going back to like when my mom asked you if they have beef in Finland? You get stores making massive profits while the farms got paid just change for their products. Okay, that's interesting. Like I said, I'd like to look more into that, because I maybe I am ignorant on the subject. Maybe the gentleman presenting here knows more than I do. So I'm not going to go and say I know everything. If I'm wrong about something, someone let me know, and I'll be like, okay, I'd like to research it.
Directly contradict each other, which causes immense mental discomfort. As a result, they're forced to resort to painstaking mental gymnastics coping mechanisms to try and reverse engineer an alternate version of reality where both these conflicting beliefs can coexist. And I believe delusional boomers, corporate shills, and modern society at large is experiencing a massive collective cognitive dissonance when it comes to our views around work. So, the two conflicting
I can agree
beliefs
with that to
they
an
hold
extent.
are, number one, everyone should have a job, and number two, you're not entitled to a job. You've all heard them say this a million times. But these two beliefs are directly and fundamentally mutually exclusive. And I know people like to throw out the whole, those two arguments aren't mutually exclusive, when they want to sound smart and win an argument, but there's just no angle for them to use this rebuttal with these two beliefs. They are literally as mutually exclusive as it gets. Since society is so hell-bent on hardcore blaming, shaming, and humiliating everyone who doesn't have a job, then it has a responsibility to ensure everyone can have a job in the first place. But clearly, it can't do that. People are literally applying to hundreds, even thousands of jobs with no response right now.
Yeah,
They want you
that's
to
a big
get
problem
job
right
so
now.
bad to the point of shaming the living shit out of you for not having one. And yet, they can't even create an economy where you even can get a job in the first place. And thus, this is where the cognitive...
Okay, who are these people in this hypothetical here, right? Well, he'll say they'll go hard into shaming you for not having a job, but it's also their job to make sure that you're able to have a job. Who are the hypotheticals here? Because it's like, again, these are arguments I don't think I've ever heard outside of Twitter. Like, I don't think I've ever heard these as real things. Maybe your parents, like, maybe this is like some bullshit your dad would say to you, like, kid, you need a job. Everybody needs to have a job. And then I also agree with, like, I don't think everybody needs to have a job. I honestly don't. If you don't have a job and there's gonna be consequences in some way, yeah, I don't give a fuck. This is just how I am. So long as like, hey, not affecting me, I don't care. But then there's also, you're not entitled to a job. I don't think people are really entitled to much of anything in life. Like, yeah, so I think we could have our basics and whatnot, and we should want to strive to maybe help make sure people are taken care of, or our loved ones are taken care of. But I don't think anybody is inherently entitled to it. Yeah, that's just me.
dissonance begins, and it gets really hilarious. If everyone should have a job, but not everyone can get one, then you have to resort to all kinds of hilarious cognitive dissonance mental gymnastics to justify your worldview. Well, those who don't have a job must just be lazy then, right? Okay, so everyone who doesn't have a job
I would
is
disagree
lazy,
with that.
right? So what happened during the 2008 financial crash?
I think
This was the
there are a lot of
cataclysmic
people who
event
want a job,
that
they
led
just
to the
can't get one.
situation we're in
'Cause
today
it
that
sucks
we
right now
never
trying to
really
get a job.
recovered from. At the peak of the crisis, the economy was losing over 700,000 jobs per month. So if everyone
you,
who
Obama.
doesn't have a job is lazy and it has nothing to do with the economy or system, does that mean in 2008, 700,000 people per month just randomly woke up one day and decided they wanted to be lazy for no reason? Or
I
my
did.
favorite one, if you can't get a job, that's because you don't have any skills or education. Well then, how do you explain the fact that Gen Z and millennials are literally the most college-educated generations, and they're
Oh, yeah,
the
'cause
ones
college
who
is a
struggle
scam.
the most with
It's just a
getting
big
jobs?
scam.
Well, you can't. So you have to take the cognitive dissonance one step further. They all got these useless
spilled my
gender
ginger ale
studies
on
degrees.
me.
So of course they're not going to get jobs with those. Okay, what about the fact that even most computer science degree graduates right now are having a hard time finding work with how oversaturated the tech job market is? Weren't you guys the same
like
ones
VTubers.
telling us to learn to code not that long ago? Yeah. Well, just get into
There's the learn to
trades
code
is the
thing.
next one. Yeah, nice idea, Boomer. Until you realize that if everyone just gets into the trades, the same oversaturation problem that happened with coding and with general college degrees will happen to the trades as well. This endless
I mean, that's like any industry. It's all like want and demand, right? And it's one of those things. I think trades are there's always going to be demand to it to an extent, right? Until we get to the point where we're mechanically well off or advanced enough that a lot of that shit can just be replaced by more robots. Yeah, I remember the learn the code era. Everything is oversaturated right now. There's also an issue where I think a lot of companies they're not willing to like train new blood because one, training people takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, and takes a lot of money, and which they don't have. And so a lot of these newer people I think are getting left in the dust when it comes to like the industry. The industry wants you already educated. They want you already like capable of doing the job. And who are those people? They're mostly the older ones who have already solidified their position in that job. Audio has that big issue right now where audio engineering has been like the same people forever. The people who are big in like the post world have been doing it forever. They work for the big post houses. Like I've met some of the gentlemen like who work at like Sony or like any other like big picture corps. They've got that job. You're not getting in. They're also not going to train you. And if you want in, you're going to be brought in as a like an understudy from a college. And that's not going to really take you anywhere. I hate to say it. A lot because it's going to bring like, okay, you want to do it and you want to do it yourself. I think when it's different goes like also with like creative jobs. There are so many people who have creativity and all those things take so many different like skill sets. I think like in the artistry space, or like a tiny realm down in the VTuber space, or like, the streamer space, or anybody who makes content creation, I think we rely a lot on each other to do stuff. People are always hiring little artists, people always hiring musicians for stuff, editors for stuff, and we get along pretty well. And I think that's cool. You create your own little market. But no, yeah, I think you're fucked in the idea of like everybody who has a job is pretty much going to keep it until like they lose it, and the market doesn't have enough space for you. I feel like I've heard this before about people will put out like, or Cropos will actually use job applications as a way to fool investors. And again, this could be some bullshit I'm completely pulling from my ass, but I thought I have seen this somewhere where it's like, oh yes, look, we're big and we're growing. We're always in need of more people. Or like we're becoming a big corporation, a big business, always big money. And see, we're hiring. We're always hiring for these things, always in need of blood, always in need of workers. That just shows you we're cool and we're operational. I swear I've seen that somewhere before.
cycle of cognitive dissonance just never ends. It just pushes the oversaturation problem from one field to the next to the next. So it's time we burn.
Yeah,
our
but people don't like
cognitive
doing physical
dissonance
labor.
and face the reality of the world and economy we're living in. AI and automation have replaced enough jobs that not everyone can get a job anymore, and we need to find new solutions.
But again, it's always
to
been like
reflect
that.
reality.
Always.
Universal basic income is absolutely going to become necessary, along with a general shift in our cultural mentality where just like we're no longer shamed for not having kids, we're no longer shamed for not working either. This, by the way, will be the actual solution to ensuring a better life for essential workers, as opposed to treating them like dirt and then using them as a meat shield when you need them to defend your pathetic, broken system. There won't be jobs for everyone anymore. It will be mathematically impossible. It already is mathematically impossible to give everyone a job, as I'm sure you've all noticed. Some jobs will remain, however, and those people will also be given UBI. And once their basic living expenses are covered, It will ensure that the work they do that upholds society will actually reward them with luxuries rather than just forcing them to work 60 hours a week to barely afford rent. Calling us lazy for not wanting to work isn't just a
But what's a
cognitive
luxury to you,
dissonance
though?
tactic.
Like, what do you
It's an
consider a
outright
luxury?
disgusting and dark manipulation lie and a massive psyop that corporations
It's
have
like-
used for centuries to keep us enslaved.
let him finish
We
speaking.
explore this more in this video right here. Check it out. I'll see you there. Thanks for
So it's like, what's a luxury for us, right? Because a luxury for me and a luxury for another person is different. Are we just talking about like just owning shit? Are we talking about, oh yeah, the big TV, the big car, having cool stuff, all the cool stuff we want? Or are we talking about maybe the luxury, the ability to relax or to have a peace of mind? Because I think in a way that's also a luxury. Or just to have some kind of security. I think security, I'm at a point in my life where I feel security is a luxury. And of course, I could be wrong about that. I could be using this term wrong. But no, I think he makes a good amount of points in this. Like, yeah, corpos are, fuck them. They're always going to manipulate us, always going to look down on us, always going to like try to get rid of us as much as possible for their end profit. That's always going to be a thing. But at the same time, I don't know how much of this is actually grounded in reality. I need to check out and research myself to see where a lot of these claims are coming from. Because to me, this just looks like Twitter arguments. And Twitter arguments to me are not necessarily the real world. At least not in like the people I've met. Because I've been throughout most of this country. I've talked to tons of people. And a lot of these claims I've not really met from anyone you would ever take serious in your life. But again, that's just me. All right. So again, this was Gen Z isn't lazy. We're just rejecting BS jobs, which that was actually pretty good. He was very well spoken. He brought a really good presentation. The freaking Spider-Man game in the back. Like, God, I don't like Spider-Man at all. In fact, I don't like comics in general or their games. I think they're boring as shit. It's fine. It's good. All right. I have one more video lined up. I'm going to go to the restroom again real quick. And then we're going to get on with it so I can get this done with and go get some more mac and cheese and destroy my asshole. All right. See you right back. Wait. Wah. I have returned. I am back. Oh, what a fun video. I love this corporate nightmare hell we're going into. But that's okay, because you know why? We have anime. I love anime. What is something when it's more than an escape? It's not just escapism. It's like, yes, this is the plane in which I exist now. Oh, I'm excited for this one too. This one talks about Me-side. For those of you who don't know, I fucking love Me-side. I love me some Mita. I love Mita a lot. I like when she hits you in the head with the bat. It makes me happy. But, man, I'm so impressed with like games like Me-side or Signalis, where it's just made with like two guys just chilling and they make an incredible game. Or I like the mouthwashing team. I'm pretty sure the mouthwashing team was pretty small too, right? What is Patrick Bateman for mentally ill women? What's that? That's awesome. I'm gonna watch that next. That's so cool. I'm sorry. So this one's called How Yandere Simulator Lost to Me-side. I'm excited about this. I've been on the internet long enough to know what a Yandere Simulator is. Yeah, to know what it is. I remember the kind of things like where it's first getting announced, and then delay after delay after delay, and then the weird shit going on, and then the kind of weirdo individual Yandere dev might be behind the scenes. And I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead and get into this one. I'm really excited for it. Wah!
I find it funny that two Russian dudes did what Yandere Dev has been trying to do for almost a decade, while having a
Killa and
tiny
Tagilla
fraction of the
makes
funds he was
Me-side.
given. The two games being compared are Yandere Simulator and Me-side, two games that star a main Yandere character. The first game doesn't need an introduction, since the video's main focus isn't really about it, and the game has been memed to death about its long development cycle, terrible code, and eccentric developer who totally did not groom a child. Yandere Dev likes
Did
to
not,
describe
totally.
this game as a combination of Hitman with the sandbox gameplay of killing a target, and then the Persona series with the school setting and socializing aspect of the game. It sounds like a cool, unique concept considering how popular the Yandere
It does sound like a
is
cool
within the
concept.
anime community, and
Gotta
plenty of
go.
other people agreed if you considered how popular the game was on YouTube during the early developments of the game. All the big
Yeah,
Let's Play
everybody
channels were
checked it
playing
out.
this game.
Everyone.
And since I was a big PewDiePie fan when I was in high school, I would watch a lot of these Yandere Simulator Let's Play videos, since I found the game's concept intriguing. But I eventually graduated high school, then followed by getting a Bachelor of Design at university, which led
Oh.
to getting a couple of design jobs, money to move out, and then getting dating opportunities.
We're gonna get
as
Silk
I
Song
was able to accomplish
first too.
life
That's gonna be great.
achievements that allowed me to learn and progress further into my life. And now, with me being a completely different person to what I was when I was in high school, I decided to check on that unfinished game that I was watching being developed as a kid, and it was still in.
Oh, don't say you were a kid. Oh, it makes me sad and feel old.
Later. Yandere Sim was a unique concept developed by an incompetent developer. Due to that, it has become an idea that was wasted potential. I mean, fair enough. Looking back
Yeah.
now, the game looks so shit. It's like a fucking Unity asset flip. I don't know. Play Hitman if you want to kill people, I guess. Oh,
But it's not anime.
enough for your weeaboo.
Oh no, he said it.
Well, I guess it's Me-side.
I love her. Look at her. She's perfect. I love her little head.
Really. Because the Yandere archetype is really the only main connection to these two games. Instead
It's-
of being an open
So
world.
here's my thing. Like, I never thought of Mita as being more the yandere type, right? Yeah, she's chasing you around trying to kill you, but I never really got that it was from her having an extreme infatuation with you. And in fact, there are parts of the game where she criticizes you for being kind of shit. She's like, oh yeah, you're just like all the other people who come through here, kind of thing. Or there's that conversation she has with like Ugly Mita when she's got the bat to your head, which is a cool scene, by the way. I love that scene. But yeah, I never got that she loved you or she was infatuated with you to a point of obsession. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to play it again. Maybe I should play Me-side again. Oh, I could play Me-side again. Absolutely could.
Box, Me-side's more like the combination of Doki Doki Literature Club
And she's so cute.
and meta storyline about being inside a game, and It Takes Two with the variety of genre changes and mini games sprinkled around the game.
Takes Two is
but
such a
without the
weird game.
multiplayer aspect. It's a simpler game, yes, but it works in its favor, because Yandere Dev keeps adding new features into his game over the years, making it more complex, which makes development time longer than it should have been. While Miside took the developers 2.5 years to make with a short and sweet
That's it?
hour-long campaign, it's already become way more beloved and respected than Yandere.
Yeah, it's a wonderful game.
So, what's the plotline of Miside? Well, it's simple. The main character is a self-insert character, so it's supposed to be...
You ever just stand there for like 10 minutes to see what happens?
Has to make it as
that mirror?
relatable as possible to the expected audience that plays this game. A social shut-in with a messy room who does some type of software engineering job. But
Me.
most importantly,
About the
you're alone.
engineering job.
You end up receiving and downloading a game on your phone, where the premise is where you take care of your virtual girlfriend named Mita.
Look at her, it's so cute.
You do tasks
Have a little head.
and buy her gifts.
Cooking mama.
It seems like a regular dating simulator, a game catering towards your lonely ass. You eventually get addicted, playing this game for 37 days straight until Mita.
Oh no.
Oh, I wish I could meet you.
I have a game like that.
She
Oh no.
you into the game. Well, first you need to update the game to version 1.9, and then you can now live forever with your virtual girlfriend. But
Please.
it doesn't feel right, since it's all in a game. Areas need to load in before you can enter them. The
I'd accept this as like a caveat, right?
world, and you find some
I don't need to go
random
outside.
cartridges hidden in a vent with names, which is strange. But as you start to clean the dishes, you start to feel weird.
That's exactly how I feel when I want to clean the dishes. I collapse.
She gives you pills to make you feel better, but you can tell something's wrong here. Your suspicions increase when you're playing cards with her. You start to hear banging in the closet. That's a bit odd. It's like someone's trapped in there.
I
Go over to investigate.
I would like the kind of toxic woman that
Although
keeps people in the
curiosity
closet.
overwhelms you,
I think
so
that'd
you
be pretty
confront her
cool.
about it.
それなら今すぐに確かめてみなよ。
I'll get her. She's perfect.
Now, this is where the game starts. Switching from a cute and innocent dating sim to a horror game as you get spawned into a creepier version of the house. And then back to a dating sim,
Happy.
first-person shooter, and then even a visual novel. And
The
then
visual novel transition scene is so cool.
on here. Okay, so the bang in the closet was the sounds coming from another Mita in cage in the basement, referred to as Kind Mita.
I got one of those in the
Originally
basement.
debuted from version 1.9, was replaced and trapped by Crazy Mita, the girl that you were with earlier. You also learn that Crazy Mita can turn any player into a cartridge as you watch the player through a console screen.
I'd become a
This
cartridge
sets
for
you up for
Mita.
the goal of the
Just
game.
saying.
Stop Crazy Mita before she turns you into a cartridge, and to stop her, you have to find the version she originally came from, as well as her index number to reset her character. So you, as a player, venture through all these different versions until you reach version
I love this game so
0.0,
much.
where the core is located to reset her. But along the way, you
All right,
experience a
core
variety
Mita
of
is
zombies,
awesome.
meeting a bunch of Mitas with their own looks and personality, as
Tiny
well as
Mita.
more about the game. I'll be honest, from a gameplay perspective, it's very sloppy and showed no difficulty at all. A lot of the gameplay elements
think it was
references
the
to
point.
other media. For example, Chapter 5's premise is basically subliminal spaces. The prototype enemies throughout the game
Hot.
cannot move if you look
Oh,
at them.
let me.
Common
I'm
trope
sorry.
of horror media. And the loop chapter is basically Kojima's cancelled horror game, PT, where you go around a loop in the hallway and solve puzzles to break it. Although it's not as scary or in-depth like PT, and the puzzles scattered throughout the game show zero
Is
complexity.
that one like a?
Or
So, The
example is the
Witness?
puzzle in chapter 13.
That was like a reference to
match
The Witness or
box in the
something.
right group. These are the types of complex puzzles you would find. Like, this is like some preschool kind of problem.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were meant to be complex. I think they're just supposed to be like moving the plot and like, having you do something to transition for it.
Like, there's plenty of cheap, goofy jump scares similar to the one at Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, I didn't see a lot of the game being jump scares. There was the one though where he just showed with the there's two actually. They both happen in the hallway scene where you come across like a spider and it does a weird little dumb jump scare thing, and then when you come across the big guy and he does a jump scare when you like get on him. And I think those are kind of cheap. I think they're meh. I don't really feel like those jump scares really blend with the rest of Miside. They're not my favorite, but I do like the hallway scene a lot. I also just like Tiny Mita. I think she's adorable. I like her little fucked up face. I like that she's fucked up. I think that's awesome. But no, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like, I was looking through the reviews saying how terrifying it was, and yeah, it was for a bit in the first half of the game. But
Yeah, I don't think the game's very terrifying, but I like horror stuff.
okay, enough shitting about the gameplay. We only care
Look at her.
plot.
She's perfect.
I feel like when we get nearing the end of the game, all the way at chapter 16 is where we get the big plot point of the main antagonist, Crazy Mita. You see,
I love Crazy Mita.
productions of meters and how they're made through this arcade game. These are prototypes of meter, and the minigame requires you to scan and do
that
tests on
skeleton
them
do?
to see if they meet the requirements for the ideal girl. But if one of them is faulty or doesn't match the requirements, you kinda just
Penti, you're wrong. I'm
throw
sorry.
them away. This section is used up to set up the next area, warning the player of the hostile prototypes they encounter. Now,
Awesome.
going back to chapter 16, you reach this unsettling secret.
I wish they'd do that to me.
On a kitchen table where you control someone wandering the house. You see yourself on the phone.
It's a cool scene.
Someone is there.
Yeah. Look at her. She's perfect.
She goes through a monologue, expressing her distaste towards players like you. Because to summarize, it turns out that Crazy Mita originally was one of the rejected prototypes meant to be thrown away. But instead of accepting her fate of rotting away, she rebelled and grew a
Can I have that stack of the rejected Mitas?
away for not being ideal.
They're all going to be
for
like
them.
that.
A sense of disgust is emitted towards the developers and players, since the creation of an ideal Mita shows their dirty nature, their shameful desires. It's common for some games, especially anime ones, to sprinkle fan service in them. Maybe some designs are subtle, but most of the time you can tell that the developers are self-projecting their fetish into the game. Like, whoever designed
Not Japan, not my great Nippon.
or the designer of this game clearly likes children, but us as players, we
What do you
turn a
mean?
blind eye towards this degenerate behavior, since it's labeled as their job as game developers, a duty they need to fulfill to live. It's kinda ironic that this message will be calling out developers similar to the one of Yandere Sim, because I guess it's not a surprise that a developer of a game based on anime culture.
Yeah. The horse anime. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these people really love their jobs. I honestly do. I feel like you can't make this stuff without having the passion behind it. Especially with how I think it's pretty well known that a lot of people in Japan get treated like shit, or they don't like really get paid well enough to like do a lot of anime stuff or a lot of video game stuff, to my knowledge. And you have to do it on passion. If you don't, you're gonna make a crap product. I mean, there's a lot of like, I mean, look at like Swery or Suda, where it's only passion, and then you get the crap product after. But we love those crap products for being what they are, right? Excuse me. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ramble about that. I also wanted to bring up the thing. Anybody ever see that video of one of the studio, I think is a Studio Trigger employee, showing what he does in his spare time? He's like, oh yeah, here's my Yoko Littner mouse pad. Look what I found out you could do. And he just blows up the booba mouse pad with like a little canister of air, making the booba bigger. And he's like, yeah, that's what I do in my free time. I mean, come on. That's somebody who's passionate and loves what they do. That's what I think about when I think of the industry people.
Culture where you have to kill schoolgirls turns out to be a huge creep. There's
what
implication of a low perversion.
Not in my anime fandom.
Even when fans suggest that he changes them because they personally feel weirded out, he refuses to change them, probably because of creative reasons. But there's
hold on, let me go back. Let me see this. Okay. If that's what I think it is, that is an yep, that's an AT2020 USB. That is a side address microphone. If you have an AT2020, if you have a microphone like that, don't speak into the end of it like that, please. It's not a podcast microphone. The capsule is pointing down at your chest, and that's not where your mouth is. Point it at your mouth. Take the time to look at your fucking manual of your microphone and be like, hey, where's this supposed to be pointed at so I have the best presentation? Also, no, we will keep the pantsu shots in my anime. Well, we'll not remove the pantsu shots. What's is it oh yeah, what game was it? Galgun? Is that what I'm thinking of? Was that the name of it, where the entire thing was like essentially like Pokemon Snap, but it was just the anime girls? I think it was Galgun, right?
probably because of creative reasons, but there's also the fact that he has a large history of having his questionable activities exposed. You see, Yandere Dev is...
Wait, did I see Gaia posts? Hold up.
Extensive online
Hold on, I'm sorry, I gotta go back. I think I saw... Okay, what do we have? Who's message board? Evax. Those are some questionable posts, comments about women and general incel thoughts. I don't give a fuck about that. 2006. A game called Replay. I'm gonna call it that for the sake of YouTube. We're never gonna have a game centered around sexually assaulting a mother and her $2. I don't give a fuck about that. Who cares? Who gives a shit? There's a private website where he streamed with interacted with people. This is apparently a response to abusing mod powers. Okay. Volunteer mistreatment. Many volunteers have stopped working with evacs for harsh treatment of problematic behavior. Okay, that's a problem. Don't be mean to people.
Of having his questionable activities.
Disturbing fanfics. Let's see. Wrote many stories about rape and human trafficking. I don't give a fuck about that. So, I think I've made my opinions on this sort of stuff like pretty open. Even if, right? Even if it's written or it's the most reprehensible thing you've ever seen in your life. If it's not your thing, right? But if to me, if it is fictional, I don't give a shit. I don't care whatsoever. If it's fictional people doing fictional things in a fictional world, not real anything, I do not care. Not saying like, oh, yeah, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, so you must like it then, right? No, fuck off. You're stupid. It's like, just because like there's horror movies that exist, right? We're going to be like, okay, I'm going to watch Saw and these people are going to be fucking mutilated and it's disgusting and gross and gore. I don't like that shit. I think that's awful. I hate horror movies that are just like gross out gore fests like that. But at the same time, it's not real. I'm not going to get my fucking panties in a bunch about it. And it's also not my thing. I'm just not going to partake in it if it's not my thing. But I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, that can't exist because it makes me uncomfortable. No, fuck off. Go help someone real. Go find someone real that's in trouble. All right, I needed to see the Gaia thing. I'm really excited to see what he said to say about Gaia. If it was Gaia Online. Rage tendencies. Oh, wait. Oh, name origin. Exafon. Is he a Razafon? Yeah, he's a Razafon fan. What a fucking asshole. I don't think I knew anybody who liked the Razafon anime at all. Evangelion makes sense, right? See here, rage tendencies. In a conversation on a forum post, Evax mentions rage tendencies, that he has a forbidden form from... He has been forbidden from screaming to relieve stress. What? I mean, screaming to relieve stress. Yeah, don't scream at people. I mean, do it in the privacy of your own home or your car or something. Don't do it where other people are at, because that's rude. It's not all about you. I understand you're having a time, but don't make things about you. Other people are there too. Okay. That confirms he is not depressed anymore. Like, I'm excited about the Gaia post. Come on, let's see. He's posted an incel post on Gaia where he blames his physical appearance for the lack of attention from girls. I'm a nice, friendly guy, and I just want people to give me a chance. I guess my face makes me look like a creep, weird guy. So no one wants to be around me. No, to know me or be around me. Branching off of this, Evax has sexualized women and creeped on them in one post. So I don't think... What the fuck does the term even incel now, right? Because it's like, what is it like? We refer to like incel as like it's incelibate, right? Or like the willful incel spacey, or you're just kind of like a weirdo dude who's into that kind of culture. But I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with thinking like, yeah, a lot of people don't want to get to know me or like me because I look a certain way. It's something I can't help about me, and people judge me based on the outside. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think when you turn it into everyone's problem, that yes, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with you being an asshole about it, right? I understand that you can be upset. I understand that it's like society does look down on people who don't look a certain way or fit into some kind of like special category. It's no secret that beautiful people are treated like usually better or can get away with more. But I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that. I think it's okay to have a realization that my life is fucked because of aspects of myself that I'm not able to change, and I don't think it's fair. I don't think that's wrong. I think creeping on people is wrong. I think the other part of it was like if I don't know, sexualizing women, right? Like I guess maybe if you're attracted to someone, you can have some weird like your own weird little fantasies and whatnot. That whatever, who gives a shit about that? But just keep it to yourself. It's when you start sharing those with the world about people who are real, and then people who are like don't want those kind of things around them or who don't want to hear it. That's when I also believe it's an issue. If you're gonna be a weirdo, if you're gonna have those kind of thoughts, keep it to yourself. Don't share those with the world, please.
Expose.
Sharing the girls. Wait, hold on. I saw that. I saw the rest. Let me go back. What am I saying? I'm sorry.
Activity.
So sorry.
Expose.
Branching off, staring at a girl's. Wonder if its creepy behavior made her cover up. Probably. Don't do that. Don't like gawk at people. Gawking at people for one isn't nice. And yeah, I don't think there's wrong with thinking somebody is attractive. I don't think there's wrong with like looking at somebody who is attractive. It's when you're doing it in a weird way where you're staring. It's like fucking creepy. Don't do that. Soliciting nudes and engaging in. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, I think that was a big one. I remember that being a thing.
You see, Yandere
Incredible.
Dev is 36 years old, so he has an extensive online history where he has shared the same traits throughout his whole life. Terrible at taking criticism, as well as being creepy.
Classic game dev.
To list a few things he has done, he's made plenty of threads complaining about how he has no girlfriend or sex life, wrote fan fictions called I Am Your Slave, and The Life of a Sex Slave.
Yeah, I was saying, are those Soul Calibers? Yeah, they are. It's the SC3 and the SC4. They're Soul Calibur. Fucking course is writing Soul Calibur fanfics. Holy shit. Oh, Soul Calibur used to be one of my main games. Dude, we're never gonna get a Soul Calibur 2 again. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. We're never gonna get anything on the level of that ever again. Dude, I could play Soul Calibur 2. Holy shit, I could. The Life of a Sex Slave. Warning, the story contains sexual slavery. But, like, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's just a shit. It's a weird fantasy. Lots of people like it. Have you ever read a book for women, like their weird little fantasy stuff? It's all this. Like, I don't think I've ever known anybody who indulges in this kind of like weird fantasy shit more than like the women I know around me. Popenti, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Popenti. Fucking degenerate.
They seem pretty self-explanatory. Ran a Twitter account called Video Game Babes.
Hell yeah.
With money donated from his Patreon, and the major one of accusations of soliciting nudes and engaging in online sex with a 14-year-old.
Okay. So, you getting your weird dolls. If that's what your thing is, that's what you want, fine. Hopefully if that money wasn't promised to go to something else, right? But if that's your thing, I'm not gonna... you just keep it over there. I don't want to talk about it with you. This part is like, go straight to the wood chipper kind of thing. That's my opinion. Straight to the wood chipper.
When he was 21, and then the most recent one of leaked DMs of sending inappropriate messages to a 16-year-old.
There's more?
35. The rabbit hole goes deep, but you get the idea what kind of person he is. The idea of a perverted developer craving for his shameful desires is the core of what makes Crazy Mita the antagonist of the story. She was created to be a lover, but then was rejected by the developers of the game since she didn't reach their standards. So she seeks validation from another source, it being you.
Oh, I love her!
Towards you, she still wants you to stay with her. It's a way for Crazy Mita to create a justification of the actions she has caused. Although, it's hard to empathize with her because those extreme actions of murdering other Mitas and wanting to kill you because you don't want...
Well, they're not really murdered. They come back, right?
Yeah,
they
it's a very
just lose their memories.
Example of a yandere. You get transported back to your room, left to continue your life, but you go through this repetitive...
I love this scene.
Mundane task.
I didn't appreciate it when I did it at the time.
Showcasing how boring your life is without Crazy Mita there. But 1,000 days later, you would still rather live this lifestyle than to be with her. I mean, Fair enough. Who would want to be with this crazy bitch? The players stubborn
Me?
leads to the ending of the game.
Please?
As Kind Meter gets murdered by Crazy Meter.
Fucking metal.
It seems like your plan has failed until you see her holding a ring and a note in her hands with the index number of Crazy Meter. This is what you need to reset her, so you rush down to the core, entering her number in the system to reset her data. You meet with what was formerly Crazy Meter, seemingly forgetting everything. But as you leave the game, she reveals that she never forgot anything because she never had an index number in the first place, since she was a prototype, never meant to be implemented in the game, but disguised herself as a regular meter. You basically failed your goal of eliminating her.
She's better that
Shortly
way.
After, you're transported.
I want her to be worse.
It appears you escaped the game, so you walk around the room, but the game starts to
It would be
slow
really
down
cool
until
for me
you
to stab
freeze.
me a little bit. I think that'd be really cool. No, it says Fortnite. Oh, look at her. She's
Is the
perfect.
true ending of the game. You become a victim of Crazy Meter and get trapped into a cartridge.
I'm so
Then
excited for
you repeat
peaceful
the
mode.
Same fate over and over again every time you get rebooted into the game. There are subtle details around this game that hint this outcome. The sound of the click of a cartridge at the beginning of the game, the stack of other player cartridges you find in the vent, and her saying this again when you ask what's in the closet, expressing that this isn't her first time dealing with a rebellious player. You are doomed from the start. There's other cartridges you can find around the game, and they all represent
I would like
different
me
players, Crazy
an
Meter
anime girl
interacting
that means I was
with
doomed from the
and they
start.
add more
That'd be pretty
context to the
cool.
lore. Player 4
Please.
was a cosplayer that taught her how to do makeup, allowing her to dress herself up as another meter. Player 8 was an avid book reader who would write books for her, educating her about the world as well as filling up the shelves with books. And Player 8 was an engineer that taught her stuff relating to his profession. This is how she gained the knowledge to build a machine that transports the player into the game.
Mita's so
The power
smart.
dynamic is different, since the game is Mita's side. She's the one throwing away players after they run out of their usefulness, just like how the developers
She could
throw out faulty
use and
prototypes.
throw me away.
She's
I'd be
gonna
cool with
keep
that.
cycling through players until she finds the one that stays with her, and that can be you. If you ignore the banging in the closet, you unlock peaceful mode, where I presume you hang out and play games with Crazy Meter, probably what the game intended to be, and then the secret ending is where you open the safe where Meter stores a console, which is in the process of uploading your
So excited
data
for
into the
more
cartridge.
Me-side.
By
I need
suddenly
more
pulling
Me-side.
out this
I need
cartridge,
it.
the player corrupts his data, killing himself in the process, which prevents Crazy Meter from keeping him and breaking the cycle. These endings all feel bad, which doesn't make it satisfying as a player to
Cappy!
sit through the entire game. Just
I like her microphone.
I win. I honestly don't like these endings, and because of that, it's not like Crazy Meter is an antagonist you can really empathize with, since she's a
I
very
had an issue with this scene where there's a bunch of options in the game where they want to keep your character panicked or more against Mita, but there are parts of it where I love having the other option of like, let's see what happens when we agree with them. And she has this conversation with you, like, and one of the things she talks about is, how do you feel about ugly Mita? And my real reaction is, I think ugly Mita is cool. I think she's great, and I don't get that that option. Like, she was like, you said like, oh yeah, she's cool or whatever, and then she goes, aha, see, you're lying again. Or it's like, I hated that. That's my most, like, I think, disliked moment in the game, is when you have that conversation, because I wanted it to be where maybe you could show her what it's like agreeing on her side of something, and then she just goes, no, you're a liar, like all the rest of them. That part sucked. That made me upset. I think the whole thing was cool. Like realistically, I loved it.
typical yandere character. I mean, if you think about it, the
Ease and
yandere
whimpering,
archetype
huh?
is a flawed character trait. Well, obviously, I don't think being a crazy psychopathic woman with murdering tendencies triggered by jealousy puts you in a morally right area.
Yeah, it
That
does.
doesn't really add a lot to this existing
Yeah,
archetype.
they're kawaii enough. It does. They're right. I love that scene.
So it makes it hard to justify and forgive their actions.
Look at her. She's so fucked up.
Just-
It's awesome.
Because I've seen plenty of other people simply for Crazy Meter. Am I missing something here? I don't know.
Yes.
Something about people missing the point of the character and idolizing them since they look physically attractive and willing to overlook the negative traits in them. Just
What?
typical internet things. I want
You can understand a character is fucked and understands that they're fucked and knows that they're fucked. But you can also think, wife. Look at her. She is wife shaped. Mita is quite literally wife shaped, and I'm pretty cool with that. I like her crazy side. I think it's really good. And I think that part's pretty sweet. I just want a little bit of that. Just a little. Just have her just stick the knife in just a little bit and do a little twisties would be kind of neat in my eyes. But that's just me. I also need to play Needy Streamer Overload. I want to play that. I've actually not played it, or I've watched a bit of a playthrough of it, but I stopped myself because I want to have the experience.
Wonder where I heard that from. I don't know, go watch my other video where I talk about a similar topic, thanks. And subscribe please. But I give Miside a 7 out of 10. It's not game of the year or a masterpiece because the gameplay sucks ass, making it a chore to play through, but it has an interesting story with a unique premise. Would rather play over
But does this person play visual novels at all? Because it's like, I think the game isn't about the gameplay at all. You're just using your character as a vehicle to go from scene to scene. And the way the game handles a lot of those transitions is fantastic. Like, I talked about earlier, the dating sim scene, where it's like a visual novel. And you walk through the door and Mita like breaks into the 2D world and takes your little text box from you. That's such a good transition. A lot of the game's full of wonderful transitions. And I don't think it's about gameplay at all. It's like the game might as well be a more interactive visual novel, in my opinion. And I think that's absolutely fine. But it's sorry if it's not like, Fortnite or Marvel Rivals or something. You got to titillate your brain more in order to have like the ability to just take a narrative based thing instead as what it is. I know a lot of people like that. I have a friend who's like really big into, he just will not play any game that isn't like a shooter or Dark Souls or something. Yeah, all right, that was a nice video. Good on them for making that. It was interesting. Kichan, I hydrate all the time. I hydrate too much, in fact. My problem is unhydrating. I unhydrate too much. A lot of that going on. As a fun like experience, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna say Miside's a perfect game. Again, there are issues I have with it. I wish there were more options in the game and more routes to be like, maybe I want to take her side more just to see what happened. And there are little things that are somewhat against like what I would personally want as the reaction to things happening in the game. I would give it a solid 8. Right? I think Miside would be a solid 8 for me. I think for what it's trying to do so far, it's really good at it. And especially the fact that it's made like 2 people. It's so good. All right, yeah. That was Yandere Simulator Lost to Miside by Sao. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Sao. Good on them for making this. They did a good job with the video. Go give them a follow if you would, please. All right. Now that I've burned myself out doing that garbage, I don't know. Should I end the stream here and go eat something, or should I just go play Zenless? Because if I'm going to play Zenless, I'm not going to be normal for 2 hours. I think I might just go to bed here and we'll do Zenless tomorrow because I'm really tired right now. I'm really hungry. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Thank you for joining me, everyone. 2-hour stream is about what I'm going to do tonight. I apologize if it's not longer. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing my reactionary content. You'll see the highlights up on my main channel, or I guess my VT channel, I guess. Wah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I had a wonderful night tonight. Hope you're all doing well. Don't forget to join the public Discord. I have a public Discord if anybody's interested. Everyone is welcome so long as you're 18. Yeah. I'm going to go destroy my ass with more mac and cheese. Good night, everybody. Wah, wah.